of history long, a struggle for the borough we all love, the Rutherglen town, a town strong, whose people bear allegiance to the crown. In Rutherglen we've got Orangemen, whose patriotic flame will never die. And when you hear the battle cry, it will be the Orangemen in Rutherglen.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the 4th episode of the Orangemen from Rutherglen as we continue to dive into the stories of our members. Over the past 3 months we have interviewed the last 3 past district masters, but today we introduce our most current, most lovely district master. Originally from LOL 13 Govan, he transferred to LOL 213 in 1988, going on to serve in the lodge in various positions, most notably most lovely master. He also served as district substitute and deputy master before being elevated to the highest office in Rutherglen's Orange community. Please welcome the most lovely district master of Rutherglen Orange and Purple District, number 20, Brother William Small. Hi Willie, thanks for joining us today.
No problem.
So what we usually do is just go back to the start. When you joined LOL 13 Govan in 1973, what helped you make that decision to join the Orange?
My father.
Your dad?
My father was a member, the 30 in Govan. He came from Govan, Cannon Park, that way originally. And he wanted me to go into the juniors, juveniles at the time. And I said no, because it was too far to travel, 2 buses for Castlemilk down to Long Street, and I just wasn't for it. I said I'll go in when I'm 17, so I joined when I was 17, and haven't looked back since.
That's good. It's good to hear you joined because your dad usually the last couple of videos friends had brought them in, and it's good to hear something that's actually for their dad that brought them in.
It's actually the other way about it. I've got a couple of friends of mine who joined the order because I joined it. I was in it as well.
How did you feel about joining at the time? Were you nervous, excited? Did you have any idea what to expect?
I had no idea what to expect. I wasn't nervous, sir, because I knew most of the men in Govan because I was a court boy with Lodge 30 and 673, I think it is, blacks. So for a number of years, so I knew most of the members, so it was quite relaxed about going in.
It's made it a lot easier for you.
Easy, no problem.
Because I remember when I joined the Orange, I was talking to Brother Smith in the corner, I would walk in, I said, I'm joining theirs, and then you think, because I'll join, it's brilliant, and then you start to like, go join us, and I didn't want to go to Rutherglen, so I was a wee bit nervous, you're thinking, what am I going to do? But if you know people, it makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
It does, it makes it a lot easier if you know folk who are already in the knowledge that you're going into, or even in the district you're going into.
Definitely.
It makes it a lot easier.
But I think a lot of people need to remember as well, because people will always help you, and people welcome you into the organisation no matter if you don't know anybody, so it is great. You said also you joined because your dad was, your father was in the lodge, but was there anyone else in LOL 30 that inspired you at the time?
Jimmy Banks, a great Orangeman, apprentice boy and black man as well. Tommy Blair was another one who was high up in the black institution. Both passed, they both have moved on, died. But Stuart Dale, he was a master in 30 for 7 years when I was there. Learned a lot of people like them.
I think it's just as well, like the fact that, as you said earlier on, the listening is amazing how much you pick up for like older generation. Orangemen is, when I was in 12, was the thing with Davy McFarlane and things like that, and then you went to the lodge and Gordon Jimison, Brian Duffin, yourself, it's just unbelievable the way you can listen. It's always great hearing just the older generation teaching as well, probably the same ones that taught you as well, and the does influence a lot to these people.
It definitely does, definitely does. And for me, it's a shame that we're losing people like that and no replacing them. Because we're an aging organisation, we're not getting the younger blood coming in the way we used to.
Excuse me, I think that's one of the things of the podcast as well, to try and show younger members that although there's a lot of older people there, but they're there to help you as well, but there's a lot of younger ones starting to come through. It's a wee bit slower than we usually is, but they just tell them to come and see what it's like.
You're right there. I mean, 2013 have done well in the last couple of years with getting a couple of younger members in. And other lodges in the district are starting to do the same as well.
I was like, excuse me, 255 seem to be doing quite well with youngers, or a couple of young the master as well.
We've got the immediate past master, Robert Bell.
Oh, is it past master?
And then you've got deputy master, I think is David Buchanan.
Oh, it's
Junior.
Oh, brilliant. That's good. I think it's good to know, because if you're out in the street and you see the young ones leading the lodges, it might just be a wee boost to you. Let's go.
But don't forget 246.
Exactly, to be fair.
Birmingham's relatively young as well.
No, definitely. So it's good to see that people can see the
That
young
is
people
definitely.
are leading
I mean, well,
these lodges now.
look at yourself. You're a past master.
No, definitely, exactly. So just back to Governor a wee bit there. Did you hold any positions in Duffin? No, did you not?
Wasn't interested.
No, just...
No. 30's meeting on a Saturday, and it was the first Saturday night every month. And that sort of age, I wasn't interested in.
Just going there.
So I didn't bother.
Do you wish you took any positions, or do you still?
Not at that time, no, I'm quite
just...
happy the way things have developed with myself.
No. So in 1988 you transferred from Govan to Rutherglen District temporary cell in 2013. What made you decide at the time to transfer?
It was just time for me. I'd married 3 years previously, bought a house in Kings Park, joined the Kings Park Loyal Supporters Club. We were members of 213. Members or travelled on that supporters club, so one thing led to another. I could have joined any of the other lodges in here, but I joined 213 because of people like Brother Andy Brown and Brother Brian Duffin. Basically that's what it was, just the right time.
Because obviously Govan is a massive district, I mean, and it's the fact to transfer to Rutherglen. It's just interesting to see, because it happens to a lot of ones, we know transfer for lodges for other reasons, but it's good to know that it wasn't in a bad terms as well, and it was still...
No, it definitely wasn't in any bad terms, and it was just, it happened to be the right thing.
Do you still manage to keep contact with people Govan?
No.
No, just that.
Just dare a walk, I see them, see everybody. A lot of members that I knew are not there any longer, you know.
Just on the
30 seems to be doing quite well, but it's a relatively small lodge, the same as 213.
Sometimes that works in the favour though, doesn't it? Like if it's a small lodge, because then...
Aye, it works that way because I reckon that you've got a better nucleus of folk. You don't have as many folk sitting back and saying, okay, this one will do it, or that one will do it. You tend to have more members getting involved in a smaller lodge.
No, definitely. I think that works in the lodge as well, you can tell that. I mean, it's good. And just you touched on you married and you moved over to Kings Park. Also know your good ladies, knowing the order. How was it? How do you feel? How did you manage to balance things, your marriage life while not being in the order? Was she understanding? I take it to you?
Definitely supportive.
So I think it needs to be in it as well. Because apart from brother McFarlane, who obviously like Betty was in the order, yourself and brother Nixon, good ladies weren't in it, and it was just interesting to see if it does work, which obviously it does.
It works, definitely works. It works, something like that.
Just having an understanding of what it's about.
Give and take, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Do Do you think there is any big differences between Rutherglen and Govan?
Well, apart from the size.
No, definitely.
No, I can't see any big difference, apart from the size, because both are well-run districts.
No, definitely.
Their districts are both run pretty well. Govan Orange Halls are slightly bigger than this. There's two, probably, possibly 3 rooms in it they can use. The social club is a separate entity, whereas yours is incorporated in one hall. But apart from that, no.
I don't think a lot of people realise how big Govan Orange Halls is, because I've been in it a few times, but it's only just the one hall. Usually after dancing people football nights, I think it's a really small orange halls, but then people says through the back it's just
you through the back.
it's just a different.
The wee room at the back was where we used to sit, probably still does, because the big hall at the front was just be far too big to hold a wee lunch. We're rattling about with smarties.
No, definitely. Just well, you joined LOL 1914. Are you able to give us a wee bit insight to what that lodge is and what it's about?
It's a charity lodge. Its sole purpose is just to make money for the upkeep, first of all with payment, and the upkeep of the memorial to Orange brothers and sisters who lost their life in the wars. And it's the first memorial that Orange Order have solely to Orangemen, and it's at the National Arboretum, just outside Duffin.
It's great. I was down there with a band a few years ago, and it's some place.
Oh,
So
it's something, it really is. It's if you've never visited it, you really need to put it on your bucket list.
Oh, definitely.
It's
We were
something
Oh,
else.
definitely. We were going to London to do the parade there and we stopped Duffin, but just outside there to do it. And I say to any member, or even if it's not a member of the lodge, you just go to see it.
Go and
It's
see it.
absolutely fantastic, isn't it? And I think the one for the Orange was just getting built after we'd been there, so I've not actually seen that. But
Aye. Well, it's a nice memorial. Well,
definitely.
it's nice.
So is it because of the charity work and obviously for the memorial, is that the reason why you joined it?
Well, part of the reason, also the fact that there was no other member of 20th District, a member, for 1914. And at the time, I asked, I think it was Brother Cook, who was the Willie Master at the time. I might be wrong, I can't remember. But I asked him to come down to a district meeting and just explain to the members what it was all about. And he came down one night and sat in a district meeting and explained it to everybody at the meeting. And we got 2 members, myself and Brother Polly Brawley, 213, both joined it.
So if any members would like to join, how would they go about joining 1914 if they wanted to?
Just come and ask me,
Just
and I'll put their name forward.
perfect.
It's quite easy, it's just no.
Just asking this.
It's not as hard as it is joining the order.
No problem. Just as well on that, so you also your working life. How did you manage to balance your working life between the order and obviously joining the Orange and working with you? Did you ever, because I like to ask that because people think also about what weekends or don't.
No, well, at the beginning, it wasn't a problem. Because when I worked in British Gas, we didn't have any shifts in it. Well, we were lucky if we'd done one standby like every 14 weeks.
Right.
Way back then. Then things increased and they started changing their work pattern systems. And then it started getting a bit tricky to chop and change. And there was some nights that very, very few right enough, but there was some nights that I just couldn't make any meetings, even when it was district, when it was Brother Master, the 213 at the time, to phone down and get Brother, I think Brother Randy Brown was his deputy to stand in, but there's a few and far between.
Like I said, just like to add that, because I know like some people are thinking, oh, I want to join, but if I work weekends and stuff, to just show them that you can balance it and that we don't just go off. You can't make parades and stuff like that, you're not going to get that. I mean, it's just...
You know yourself, Jason, I mean, the parade is the pinnacle of the year for us, but I mean, we're working
Definitely.
every month of the year.
That's
We
exactly
come
it.
down to meetings, so if you can't make a parade, then
That's
it's going to be all and end all, is it?
that's it. Just like to tell people in case they think, oh, if I can't be at parades or something, to think that what goes on behind the parades, as you said, is for enjoyment.
No. If you can't make a parade, then we'll not put you. It's not like that.
So we're just going to take a wee break at this point to show some adverts from the district and the 20 Social Club.
Rutherglen, we've got Orangemen, this patriotic flame will never die. And when you hear the battle cry, it will be the Orangemen and Rutherglen.
Hello, welcome to the 20 Social Club.
The 20 Social Club are opened at the moment and are committed to following all government restrictions to provide a safe environment for our customers. Therefore, some aspects in our advert, such as live entertainment, may not be available until restrictions are lifted. Please remember facts for a safer Scotland. Wear a face covering to protect yourself and others in enclosed spaces. Avoid places which may be crowded. Clean your hands thoroughly and regularly. Keep a 2 metre distance from other people. And self-isolate and book a test if you show any symptoms. Stay safe, protect others, save lives. Our town, our culture, our traditions, our history, our members. For the first time ever, the members of Rutherglen Orange and Purple District 20 can tell their stories to you as part of Rutherglen's first ever podcast. Join me, Jason Hamilton, as I meet the Orangemen from Rutherglen at 6 p.m. on the first Sunday of every month, live on the district's Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages.
Rutherglen, we've got Orangemen, this patriotic flame will never die. And when you hear the battle cry, it will be the Orangemen in Rutherglen.
Welcome back. Once again, I'd like to thank the 20 Social Club for allowing us in for filming, particular sister as well, I'm sure, and sister Lorraine, for opening the halls for us during the filming. We're back with Brother Small to tell us our journey as an Orangeman. Before we stopped, we'll talk about your transfer from Govan to Rutherglen. You've been in Rutherglen for over 30 years. What have you enjoyed best about your time here?
Rutherglen?
I'll get a few, but...
No, I don't. Well, you asked about differences earlier on between the likes of Govan and Rutherglen District. Rutherglen have been a lot smaller. You tend to get to know a lot more people in the different lodges and whatever than you would in Govan, and that's what I like about Rutherglen. But when I transferred into Rutherglen, I mean, I mentioned Andy and Brian there, but I also knew a lot of other folk in Rutherglen District because I frequented some of the hostelries up in the main street, so I knew a lot of guys in Rutherglen in 20 District anyway. But it's to me personally, it's a lot more friendlier than the likes of going into a district like Govan.
No,
But in saying that, I'm an outsider. I'm not a Rutherglenian, so I'm still classed as an outsider.
I'm sure you've been accepted now. You'll be fine.
Well, there's those and such as those, I suppose.
One thing Rutherglen has an advantage of most districts is that we've got a social club that's open 7 days a week. You served on this social committee for a long time, and you served as vice president of the club for a small period of time before being made most of the district master in 2016. How important is it for Rutherglen to continue to have a functioning social club in your opinion?
Very important. I don't make any bones about this. The members between the district who are not members of the Rutherglen Social Club, 20 Social Club, want to take a good look at themselves, because if it wasn't for the social club, these halls would be kept up to the standard that they are. I think Brother Nixon mentioned it in his interview that we've just done the halls up, but it costed a lot of money. But being district master, it gives us the opportunity to travel to run those meetings all over the country now, basically. And a lot of halls we go into, as Brother Smith will testify as well, they're nothing like their halls. Their hall, and I'm not banging on any drum here, I'm being truthful.
No, definitely.
It's a good standard. The decor and furnishings are all been done to a good standard, even in the social club side of it, and the lounge is exactly the same. But that's only because in the social club, because if we didn't have the income coming from here to the social club to keep the upkeep in these halls the way they are, then I don't know where we would be.
No, definitely. I think I said in a few of the other sort of interviews as well. So I think up until with this period of time, I think myself being guilty as well, I think we've taken these halls for granted. I think
definitely.
have.
Yeah, there's no two ways about it, Jason. There's far too many people take these halls for granted. You only need to see that on old firm days. When you get people coming in up at that door and expect them to get in, and they don't never sit fit in the place any other time. But just because there's an old firm game on, they think they can get in here because they're a member of the district.
Aye.
And that's just not on.
No, definitely. You said as well, it's been done up. It's just a shame, obviously, the current situation we're in, but the halls are looking absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
and
brilliant.
when they get people back in, what a difference they're going to see in the place, they really are. And it's just top notch. But just going back there as well, saying about how important it is. To me, like being through this as well, looking at different eyes as well, you get my sisters behind the bar working, it's their livelihoods as well. So if you're not busy, they're not going to have their jobs and stuff. And I think a lot of people not understanding their jobs maybe being under threat because of the obviously COVID pandemic. Also really means that come down and support a bit more. If you're going to go out to Rutherglen, come and have a couple of bites in the club first. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, that's for sure.
That's
I mean, it's great prices.
With a wife or a husband, whatever to be.
No, that's exactly it. It's
Saturday night, you get a good stack. You think of the places in Rutherglen, 20 Club must be one of the only places in Rutherglen that you get live music on a Saturday night here.
no, definitely.
Every Saturday night.
I think as well as to tell people like come for Saturday nights and when there used to be Sundays and things like that, hopefully they can pick up, is that anybody there, we've got a mixture of people who come.
Oh,
I
aye.
think people might think, oh, it's just, oh, we're just doing, just, oh, they're up singing the Sasha every weekend and stuff like that. It's not like that at all, it definitely isn't. So it's just to say people, come down and give it a wee try, because some of the acts we get are phenomenal, like they really are.
The associate members, and I've got to say this, if it wasn't for the associate members keeping this place going, then again, we might have to shut the doors. We certainly wouldn't be open every day of the week.
No, definitely.
But the associate members of the social club do a great job as well. So
No, definitely. Hopefully, once we can get back in, that people will maybe look at it a bit different, realise that we've got a fantastic hall, beautifully decorated, and we've got, as you say, some of the best entertainment we're looking at the weekend. So we're just hoping that we can maybe take off and members, even like myself, will take memberships again and actually take it going forward and appreciate what we've got that you could easily lose, I think, in it. As well as the social club.
The income for the social club, it's not just the upkeep and the decor and doing the halls up. Pay for rent,
No, definitely.
rates, water, gas, electricity.
No,
That
definitely.
gets paid. If that was to stop, if we can lose the social side of it, then this district would fall apart because the people are no willing to put the money, their hand in their pocket to pay for it.
No, definitely.
And the lodge dues would have to go up.
We know that doesn't go down well.
No, it definitely doesn't. Definitely doesn't.
So just how you mentioned it, but it's all said there.
I'm sorry about it being a bit.
No, because that's why people will understand it.
On my soapbox, but
No, because it's important to the district to realise it's just as
Oh,
much
definitely
important
is.
than anything else. So hopefully people can do and spend a wee bit more when obviously we can get back to things. As well as the social club is the importance, you've always made the efforts to attend lodge functions, etc. What's your best memories for the lodge functions you've attended?
I need to go back a few years now because unfortunately 2013 the same as a lot of other lodges have failed to get the support in recent years for any functions that they've put on. But in recent years, we had a night for renaming the hall in memory of Brother Stuart Aiken Senior, because of his long service to the district. That was a good night. That was a first night for quite some time that all the lodges came together, and everybody here who attended that night will say that was brilliant. No had a night like that for don't know how long. And then again latterly, the district ball has been starting to pick up again as well.
No, it's good to see the district ball pick up a wee bit as well, innit? Because it was always great to come down and we put it up for the day.
It's hard. Times have changed. When I first transferred into 213, well, it was actually when I became master at 213. Coming to the district ball, dressed up in the finery and whatever, a black tie. Or the ladies with their ball gowns on and whatever. It was great, and then things started falling away because times changed. People didn't want to come out dressed up, they wanted to be more casual and whatever, but it's nice to see it starting to come back again.
Oh, definitely.
And I hope we can keep it up. Obviously this year it's not been possible because of the virus, but maybe next year we'll be able to get it up again. Our 160th anniversary.
No, some milestone.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely. It's good because even that myself, when I started going to district ball last year, you can see people starting to be a wee bit more in effort again, and the dresses come on in mainly suits again, which is good to see because it's a big day for the district as well, a big night. Usually with entertainment as well, which is always great, isn't it?
Yeah.
You touched on there when you were a master at 213, so you were a master in the lodge in the 90s. Can you still remember how you felt when you were elected master at 213?
Over the moon. Over the moon. Very, very proud, yeah.
It's a great feeling, isn't it? Because also I still remember when I got elected to master, and it's something you think that it just makes you feel so good that the body hall actually trust you to lead that lodge.
Aye, yeah.
And it can be nerve-wracking as well, but you know, like we all lodge as well as you know yourself, the support is unbelievable. Like you won't ever feel as a master in the lodge, I don't think, because if you're willing to learn and things like that as well, because there's people there that will always help you, isn't there?
You know yourself, Jason. I mean, 213, nobody will know lodge it, does it? But standing up your first couple of times, taking the chair, you don't remember everything, and there's always somebody sitting beside you who'll just say, pss, 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 just whisper in your ear and put you back on the right track again.
No, definitely. Brother Smith is always good for when I was master, that's for sure.
He still does it to me in district secretary, so he
loves it, doesn't he? He's good. He's made the camera with news to just move on, isn't he? As well as a member of L213 myself, I know the members are fantastic as we help each other out a lot. Was there any members that helped you during your time with 213 being master that stands out?
Oh, there's one that stands out above everybody else's, that's the late brother George Rennie. He's not just helped me, he's helped a lot of other folk in 213. Whatever, I'm sure they could be a bit of character as well as folk who knew him, would tell you. I think it's probably George.
That's the main
man. I mean, there are others away back there, I'm saying away back then, it's not that long ago. But there's others, but no, George Rennie, brother George Rennie.
I can remember part of George's times as well, and he was, as you say, definitely a character.
He was a character. He could write a book. Look a book so you could.
He's a great man, to be fair. While you were the master, you overseen the fundraising and the purchase of the current lodge banner. What do you remember about the unveiling of the banner?
Do you really want me to tell you?
As long as it's not
No,
good.
it's clean, sorry. Well, we were on the morning of the unveiling, we had decided to have a short unveiling service in here, and we had the banner up against the back wall there. We were all standing ready, and we had the band in just to use a couple of tunes.
Good to see the banner still in fine.
It's in good condition. Sure, the I don't know, it's her sister. I don't know, the woman that made it took a walk through Glasgow Green last year at the big parade and pointed it out, and she's saying, I made that banner. And there was a couple of members that I was just a bit further away from her, but there was a couple of members that went and spoke to her and told her I was secretary at the time and I was treasurer at the time. I was actually too tired to get up to get and speak to her, but no, she says, I'll make that.
I remember Brother Smith telling us about that story, and it's great to see that so many years the knowing she spotted the banner walk through the
Well, it's
system.
good to see she's still going strong anyway, so much, but I don't know if she's still making banners for anybody else. But it's good, because I think most folk will get off of her by, get off of Ulster. No, that woman came from Saltcoats. We travelled down to Saltcoats. Took the old banner down and just says the exact copy. Just got a new banner up, and we went down to look at it. It was pretty well done.
No,
And it's still looking good now, and that's what, 30 years?
Is that what it's 30 years? I was just asking.
Nearly 30 years, 25 anyway, but the early 90s.
No, it's brilliant to see, because as I said, it's in still really good condition, so
Aye,
our work was great then, that's for sure.
Yeah.
In the district, you worked your way up from substitute district master, obviously up to most wealthy district master. You worked under Brother McFarlane, Brother Elvin and Brother Nixon, the three highest past district masters. What advice or lessons have you learned from them and taken into the role?
I don't know if I've learned anything from Jim, Molly or Davy. I think I done all my learning early on, you know. I've already said, just sitting watching what was going on in my early years in 30. Took a lot of grounding for the hierarchy in 30 at that time. I don't think I really picked anything up. I'm sorry to say that if they get upset about it. But,
to be fair.
because each is all different.
No, definitely.
You know, we tackle the job in different ways. We've all done it different, so I can't say that I've really picked anything up for any of them.
See, obviously, coming through with them, because obviously Brother Elvin and Nixon, did you ever feel nervous taking over for like Brother Nixon? Was there for 10 years as district master, or did you just go, no, I've learned enough to know that I'm fine to take it that comes in the room?
Oh, obviously, first couple of years, I'd say, even first 18 months anyway, you're feeling nervous. You don't settle into a role to at least a couple of years, you're in it.
Had to find your feet.
Aye, basically aye. But again, as I said earlier on, if I make a mistake, at a district meeting or the whole building meetings or whatever, if David doesn't say something, then Jim's on the other side and he's going to
So you're going
He's
to
going
get
to
it
keep
right,
on the right track, you know.
definitely. You're also elected District Master in 2016. How did you feel being elected District Master?
Oh, great. Again, over the moon, Jim.
Just
Very, very
amazing.
proud.
Did you see when you first took Substitute Master? I know some people go for Substitute Deputy but don't ever become District Master. Did you know when you took Substitute that you would eventually know that you'll be District Master one day? Or did you not think about that? Or did you just know that working through that, learn as much as you can because you know one day
No,
you'll be
no. Once I took Substitute, I had made my mind up that I was going to go for the Masters chair.
So you felt confident enough in that?
Oh, I
just
felt
straight?
definitely.
Did you feel as if you knew the time was alright to take it? Or was it just like, you knew just as soon as you went with Deputy Master, District Master, you know that just whenever it happens is going to happen? Or do you always go, oh, it's a couple of years, or does it not?
Well, I waited 17 years, so I had plenty of time to think about it and contemplate whether I was going to do it or not. But no, as I said, as soon as I was elected Substitute Master, then I knew I was going to go.
During your time as District Master, you've also endured the most difficult situation that maybe possibly any District Masters ever had to deal with, obviously the coronavirus pandemic. Stopping meetings, parades, church services. However, your leadership through this pandemic, you've allowed us to manage to do a digital church parade, have Rutherglen's first ever 12 at home. In these episodes of Orangemen for Rutherglen, I've came for yourself as well, obviously putting faith in myself and Brother Smith to conduct these in North to Worry. How important do you feel, because there's a sort of social media aspect to it, should that continue into the Orange Order, but well into our traditions?
I feel that very much that it should continue. I don't want to speak out of turn here. Let me just say that I think that there's other people in the institution are maybe dragging their heels a wee bit about going down the social media route, whether it be podcasts or I believe we were the first to hold the virtual church parade in the country. I believe if I'm right, there was a lodge or a district done it in Ulster before us, but since we've done it, the County Grand Lodge of Glasgow have done it, the County Grand Lodge of Central Scotland, I believe, have done it, and I also believe that there's at least one other district has done it in Scotland. So, very proud of the fact, well, proud of your media team, put it that way, that they put all this together, and also the virtual 12th, or the virtual your 12th, the big one, was very well done as well. And I don't want to, I mean, it was done, it was brilliant, it was fantastic, but I hope we don't have to do it again.
No, definitely.
You know, if we do have to do it again, then I know that the media side of it is in good hands, and we can only go on for there.
But as you said, I hope it obviously doesn't come to that. This
No,
ever
I
again.
hope it doesn't. I hope that was the last time. Well, there might be other times that we can use it and put on a virtual parade or whatever. Maybe one towards the end of the year, maybe in late August or September, you just do all the different parades, all the different lodges parades, something like that, maybe once a year, you know. But I hope we never have to do this again.
No, I know. I think what me and Brother Smith had picked up on when they done the sort of Rutherglen 12 at home thing was obviously the asked members, they send in their pictures of them decked out in regalia to go in the parade, and some of the members said that was the first big walk I've took part in years, and it was just amazing. These members that obviously can't get down there, can't parade anymore, and going, they still managed to take part in the parade, and it was just, it was great to hear it. It was just so humbling to know that we probably made their demonstration day as well, and the fact they just went, I've not been able to do a parade and they've done it. It was great.
The fact that, I mean, you said it earlier on, Jason, about being included in how we're all kind of don't want to say a family, but if you look at it that way, we are. It was the same. There's a lot of elderly and infirm members who can't take part in the parade any longer. Although they might come down here in the morning and watch us coming back at night. But the fact that we contacted them and said, send in some of your photos and whatever, and you'll be included in this, it gives them a wee lift as well.
Definitely.
So it does.
And I think
it gives
that's,
them a lift.
yeah, with us missing that, there's people who send it those, excuse me, people they get right involved in it, and it made his job a lot easier to actually put the parade together.
Aye, yeah.
And I think a lot of members did really enjoy it, as well as we'll talk about these podcasts that obviously allow us to do as well. It's a lot of people like we spoke to, I think Robbie Fallon had maybe forgot a couple of the parades or something, he went and visited. The comments were unbelievable, people going, oh, I remember my dad was there, and oh, he was talking about my dad at that point, and they brought them back their memories, and it was just, the idea for doing this is to keep our stories, our traditions, but also to lift people during this situation. Yeah. It was great just to hear people saying, oh, I remember that day, and oh, the parade was here, we went down and bust at this time, and it was really, it actually made us feel really good, to be fair, to go that people have actually watched this and really enjoyed it.
Of course they did. I mean, and the thing is as well, I can't remember the actual viewing numbers. I mean, it's out there somewhere, so there'll probably be people will still be looking at it now for the first time and seeing it. And it was well in the thousands, so it was well into the thousands, kind of mid-July. So, I mean, we're 6 months down the road now, so I don't know how many people have viewed it.
I think me and Ross were surprised at the views that we got, to be fair. Like, for I think a couple hundred will be doing really well, and then it's just took off. And
it was good, especially our district parade. That's what really surprised me, was the numbers who looked at that and viewed that, and some of the comments were going. I read comments from Australia, Canada, down south, Ulster, all over the world, basically.
It was unbelievable.
You know,
I was going to watch from New Zealand, Australia,
all over.
It was great. Also, just on that as well, the work that Brother Smith has done for the technical stuff is, I don't really didn't think he'd be able to do technical stuff now, but now he's don't bother up too much.
Scratch his head for
but no, he's done absolutely fantastic.
Don't bother up too much.
But as I said, on behalf of me and Brother Smith as well, we also thank you for putting trust in us to do this as well, because as you said at the start, there is a few, the old order itself is a wee bit sceptical of social media, and I can understand it, because it can be very scary, but if you have the right people, then it can take off, of course it can, and it can be done properly. You just have to make sure that you're getting people in that they know what they're doing, kind of, and are aware of the bad side of social media as well. But I definitely think it's a great thing for the institution. Hopefully for these podcasts, I know as you said, County Grand Lodge have done stuff at Central, and there's a couple of podcasts, and I watched a few of them as well, and they're doing great.
They're starting to spring up now, but and as you say, there's other districts and areas and such like doing it, but I like to think it was 20 district that kicked all off and started it off.
Me and David will say it was that, definitely. No, but as I said, hopefully the other podcasts connect to the ones that they go for strength as well. But your new 4 years into your time as Worthy District Master, do you have any advice for any young members who aspire to be District Master one day?
Advice? How young are you talking about?
Okay, we'll talk about the young members, all the ones that have been like, the lodges have the young Worthy Masters, like for what, like Brother Smith, Cunningham.
Go for it.
Just go for it.
Just go for it.
I think as well, like, taking master of your...
Can't do any better than your best.
No, that's it, isn't it?
So, if you feel you're up for it, just go for it.
No, definitely.
Go for it.
I think as well, always, I've said this so many times through the podcast, is you'll never be stuck. You do ever make a fool, you'll never be standing there and not know what to say.
No,
especially as you say, if Brother Smith's beside you, you'll be definitely on the right hands, that's for sure, to be fair. And just to say, just go for it. And I think it'd be good to see, as we said, about masters that are young, leading the lodges in Rutherglen. Hopefully it continues, and young people will eventually come in and say, that's an organisation to thrive and take us on to that next stage.
Well, I hope so. I hope some of the younger folk out that are no members, and even just looking at our broadcasts or whatever, the moment can say, oh well, I'd be a fancy doing that.
No,
Why
definitely.
not?
We've all been there, we're all youngsters
No,
doing it as well.
exactly.
Jamie. It's a real it's a enjoyable organisation to party, definitely.
Best organisation in the world, Jason.
Definitely, I can agree more.
What else?
Well, Willie, we'd like to thank you for your time to come on and share your stories. They've been great. And again, I'm just on behalf of myself and Paul Smith, thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
No, it was a pleasure. I'd also just like to thank everybody that's been
Listen,
watching.
I don't want a cheque, because they tend to bounce nowadays, so just, I'll give you my bank details, you can send the money through.
I thought you were going to give us it.
Ah.
I'd just like to thank everybody that's watched our videos over the last 3 months. We were talking about the numbers there, and we've reached over 12,000 views, people watching the Orangemen from Rutherglen. Subscribe to our YouTube channels, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, for all the latest information for our next podcast that come available on the Orangemen from Rutherglen. Next week we're joined by our first female guest, Sister Elizabeth Fletcher, and she'll be the first Orange woman from Rutherglen. Thanks for watching.
During my interview with Jason, he asked me about members who influenced District 20. At the time I mentioned George Rennie, which quite rightly, because George did put in a lot of work, especially for 213. But there's 2 members who I think, and I forgot, that's my fault, I'll put my hands up, I should have mentioned them at the time. 2 members that deserve some recognition, and I don't think they actually get the recognition that they're due. And these 2 brothers are the late brother Alec Crothers and the late brother Tommy Strong. Now both of them probably forgot more about Orangeism than the average member or the institution knows. Tommy done a lot of work on the floor. He was actually district secretary, I believe, at one time. Very, very strict in his ways regarding how things should be done, quite rightly so. Alec, again, went about things in his own way, done everything by the book as it should be done again. Indeed, Alec actually held the office of Honorary Deputy County Grand Master. And maybe that's another wee project that we can get David onto to see exactly what office Alec held in the county. But once again, I'd just like to say these 2 brethren don't get the recognition that they thoroughly deserve in District 20. Just like to thank you once again for watching the Orangemen from Rutherglen, and I hope you enjoy all future episodes. And the next one coming up, we'll believe will be with Sister Liz Fletcher of Ladies 34.
Our town, our culture, our traditions, our history, our members. For the first time ever, the members of Rutherglen Orange and Purple District 20 can tell their stories to you as part of Rutherglen's first ever podcast. Join me, Jason Hamilton, as I meet the Orangemen from Rutherglen at 6 p.m. on the first Sunday of every month, live on the District's Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages.
I'll sing a song of history long, a struggle for the borough we all love, the Rutherglen town, a town strong, whose people bear allegiance to the crown. In Rutherglen we've got Orangemen, whose patriotic flame will